Hello, my name is Christina Rehill. I'm granddaughter of John P. Rehill and sister to Mark Rehill, and it's a privilege to be part of this project. I can't imagine what it's like for the family still grieving the losses of their loved ones from the SS Adela. But I have a poem that I've written and I'd love to be able to share it with you, and I hope that it captures something of the loss that must be still with you, and hoping that this is all part of a healing process. My poem is called From the Lighthouse. In the nearness of end, as the tide of nighttime sleeps, I hold a picture of your face. They are watching, they are winking, in the colour of my dreams. In the nearness of end, as the tide of nighttime sleeps, I hold a picture of your face, still staring, still smiling, in the fade watch of my dreams. In the nearness of end, as the tide of nighttime sleeps, you curl in the drift of dry darkness, shimmering the flight of light. You shadow the eve of my dreams. In the nearness of end, as the tide of nighttime sleeps, you ghost in the float of pure present. You wash in the glow of grow. I sink in the hollow of my dreams. In the nearness of end, as the tide of nighttime sleeps, a quiver, a flap of the familiar, muzzy in the muffle of illusion, I'm landed in lost dreams. In the nearness of end, as the tide of nighttime sleeps, I wake drenched in the wet of waves' loss, shored in the forgotten, the abyss of pitched past. You sail outside my dreams.
My name is John Jones. My great-grandfather George Jones was on the Adela, which sank on December 27th, 1917. George was from a long line of sailors, both before and after his death. His father was a sailor, I'm sure his father before that. He had brothers and nephews who were sailors. My own daughter at the moment is working on Irish ferries, so she's continuing the line as well. I started researching George in 2016. Through that research I came across many cousins who I'd never met before, including one who I've really struggled with friendship with, Paula, who's done a huge amount of research. I have cousins in Liverpool who, George's eldest daughter, moved to Liverpool and we lost touch with them. But now, through George, we've reunited again. Through Facebook, we've set up a Jones Hanson group. Hanson would have been my great grandmother, Jane Hanson, who was George's wife. Her family and her descendants, and our own descendants, George's own descendants, have reunited, and we're in constant contact on Facebook. Some very interesting people. Claire Flynn, who's an author, is in Liverpool. I never knew she existed until earlier this year, and again that was through Paula. But we've many friends and relations from all over the world. Hopefully one day we may have a reunion.
My name is Paula Jones. My great-grandfather was George Jones. George was on the Adela and passed away on the 27th of December 1917. He was born in August 1854 in the parish of Clontarf. He had 5 sisters and 3 brothers, so there was 9 in the family. Unfortunately, 3 of his sisters passed away in their childhood. His father was a sailor and his brothers were sailors, and he was a sailor too. The first ship that we have him on that we can find is the Orinoco, but we know then that after that in 1873 he went to America and he joined the US Navy and he served on the USS Swatara, and he served on that for 3 years. travelling transatlantic down into Brazil, and so off the South American coast. So that was really interesting to find all of that out when we were doing our research. After that, then he came home and started sailing on coastal trading routes. In 1884, he married Jane Hampson, and they went on to have 7 children. And the boys in his family continued on with the sailing tradition as well. Now, at that time, he was sailing the coastal routes between Ireland, the UK, and some parts of Europe. George's sister-in-law, Maria Ann Hampson, her son was on the Adela as well. She was married to James Barry, and her son William Barry was on the Adela, and he passed away with George on that fateful night. In addition, George's brother, John, was married to Ellen Little, and their son, Michael, was on the SS Memphian, and he also lost his life on the 9th of October 1917. So there's been a lot of tragedy within the Jones-Hampson family during that war. Over the last number of years, my brother, who lives over in England, has gone to the Tower Hill Memorial every year and laid a wreath in memory of George and all those who died on the Adela that night.
My name is Patricia Burke. I'm the great-granddaughter of Francis Mangan, who lost his life on the SS Adela in 1917. Also on that boat was my great-great-uncle John Mackey. They managed to get into the dinghy. There was 4 of them, and the captain managed to get into the dinghy. Unfortunately, only the captain survived. The 4 died of exposure and were brought to Holyhead. It was an awful tragedy at the time for the family, losing my great-grandmother lost her husband and her brother, and 2 months later my great-grandmother herself died, so it was a tragic time for the family.
Hello, I'm Mark Hampson. I'm a relation of William Barry, who was killed at sea in 1917. William Barry would be my grandfather's uncle. He lived in the house of my great-great-grandfather, William Hampson, in the North Dock, in the kind of merchant area of Dublin. He would also be George Jones' uncle, who was also killed at sea in 1917. My grandfather was also a sailor on the ships. He sailed the Biddy Line in 1919. And my great-great-great-grandfather was also a sailor, William Hampson. Through this group, I've met a lot of family from around the world: Australia, Penzance, Kent, different people who are all interested in researching our family, and it's brought great interest and enjoyment to all the people involved.
My name is Mark Reel, and I'm the Group Commercial Director of the Tedcastle Group of Companies, the company where I've worked for the last 34 years. In addition, I'm also very proud to be the grandson of the legendary John P. Reel, the man who bought Tedcastle McCormick in 1951 from its founding partners, Mr. Robert Tedcastle and Mr. John McCormick. It is quite long before our proud ownership of the Tedcastle McCormick that I want to share with you a very sad and moving story concerning Tedcastle McCormick and its ownership of the SS MV Adela. It was on the 27th of December 1917, exactly 34 years before our proud ownership of Tedcastle McCormick, that the SS Adela set sail from Dublin Port to Holyhead, that she was torpedoed without provocation by a German U-boat late into the night. Tragedy, the vessel which was torpedoed by this U-boat sank, killing 24 members of the crew, 14 of which were from our precious Dublin Docklands. It is genuinely with a very deep heart that on behalf of the Reel family and Tedcastle McCormick that we promise both never to forget and forever remember the crew of the SS Adela who tragically perished on that December night. May they forever rest in peace. Amen.